There's an old saying you might have heard. What you see isn't always what it seems, and what you cannot see might be closer than you think. This saying perfectly fits the story I'm about to tell you. It's a tale so haunting and mysterious that it demands your full attention. Missing even the smallest detail could leave you baffled, unable to piece together the enigma that lies within. Today's story unfolds in a remote corner of our country, a place often referred to as heaven on earth. Yes, I'm talking about the serene yet tumultuous region of Kashmir. But this story isn't about the beauty of its valleys or the tranquility of its rivers. No, this is about a shadowy secret hidden deep within the heart of a forgotten village where nightmares roam as reality. The tale centers on a man named Zahid, who, after 25 long years, returned to his homeland from London. Zahid had left his village in the Zaman Valley as a teenager, fleeing not only poverty, but also a trauma he never spoke of. Life abroad was kind to Zahid. He built a successful career and a comfortable life. But one day, a letter arrived, a letter that would change everything. It was from his estranged cousin, Farouk, who still lived in Zaman Valley. The letter was brief but urgent. Brother Zahid, time has passed, and wounds have deepened. Your presence is needed here. Our land, our family, and perhaps your own soul depend on it. Come home. Haunted by these words and a deep-seated guilt for abandoning his family, Zahid booked the next flight to India. Little did he know that his return would unravel a sinister mystery that had been festering for decades. He landed in Srinagar, and from there, he hired a jeep to take him to Zaman Valley. The driver, an old man with a face weathered by years of mountain winds, seemed uneasy when Zahid mentioned his destination. "You're going to Zaman Valley?" the driver asked, his voice trembling slightly. "Yes," Zahid replied. "I grew up there." The driver fell silent for a moment before muttering, "Few return to that place willingly. Strange things happen there, things best left unspoken." Zahid shrugged it off as superstitious rambling. After all, he'd heard similar tales growing up, stories of shadows that whispered your name, of a cursed bridge that devoured those who crossed it after midnight. But those were just tales to scare children, weren't they? As they drove deeper into the valley, Zahid couldn't shake off a growing sense of unease. The familiar landmarks of his childhood were shrouded in an eerie stillness. It was as if time itself had frozen in this forsaken place. Zahid arrived at his old family home, a crumbling two-story house on the edge of the village. The house stood as a silent testament to years of neglect, its windows dark and lifeless. Farouk greeted him at the door. He looked older than his years, his face lined with worry and exhaustion. "Welcome back, Zahid," Farouk said, forcing a smile. "It's good to see you." "It's been too long," Zahid replied, hugging his cousin. "How's everyone?" Farouk's smile faded. "Not well. Let's talk inside." As they sat in the dimly lit living room, Farouk explained why he had summoned Zahid. Over the years, strange occurrences had plagued the valley. Disappearances, unexplained deaths, and whispers of an ancient curse. And now, it seemed, the curse had reached their family. "It started 2 months ago," Farouk said. "Every night, I hear whispers outside the house. At first, I thought it was the wind. But then I saw them, shadows, moving where no shadows should be." Zahid frowned. "Shadows? You mean people?" Farouk shook his head. "No, not people. Something else. And they've been getting closer." That night, Zahid stayed in his childhood bedroom. The familiarity of the room brought back memories, but the unease lingered. As he lay in bed, he heard it, a faint whispering sound, like a breeze rustling through leaves. But there was no wind. He got up and peered out the window. In the moonlit yard, he saw it, a dark, humanoid shape standing motionless beneath a tree. His heart pounded as the figure slowly turned its head toward him. Before he could react, it vanished. The next morning, Zahid told Farouk what he had seen. Farouk's face grew pale. "They're watching us," he said. "They know you're here now." The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the curse. Long ago, they said, a bridge in the valley had been the site of a massacre. 50 travelers were slaughtered by bandits, their bodies thrown into the river below. The souls of the dead, unable to find peace, lingered as shadows, preying on the living. The bridge, known as Shaitan Pool, Devil's Bridge, was avoided at all costs. Yet, Zahid felt drawn to it. He had to know if the stories were true. One evening, against Farouk's protests, Zahid ventured to Shaitan Pool. The bridge was ancient, its wooden planks rotting and its rails rusted. As he stepped onto it, a chilling wind swept through the valley. The whispers grew louder, surrounding him. "Zahid," a voice called, soft yet unmistakable. He spun around, but no one was there. The shadows beneath the bridge seemed to writhe and twist, forming shapes that defied explanation. Suddenly, Zahid felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned to see a man dressed in old, tattered clothes. The man's eyes were hollow, his face etched with sorrow. "Leave this place," the man said. "They won't let you go if you stay." Zahid fled the bridge, his mind racing. Back at the house, Farouk revealed the truth. The man Zahid had seen was one of the 50 victims of the massacre. The shadows were the souls of the others, trapped in a cycle of torment. But there was more. Zahid's own family had a dark connection to the curse. His ancestors had been among the bandits who committed the massacre, and the curse had haunted their bloodline ever since. Determined to end the cycle, Zahid sought the help of an old village priest. The priest performed a ritual at the bridge, invoking the spirits and asking for forgiveness. For hours, the air crackled with energy as the shadows writhed and howled. Finally, as dawn broke, the shadows dissipated, their whispers fading into silence. The valley seemed lighter, as if a heavy weight had been lifted. With the curse broken, life in Zaman Valley began to return to normal. Zahid decided to stay, rebuilding his family home and reconnecting with the community. The shadows were gone, but their memory remained, a reminder of the darkness that once plagued the valley. And so, Zahid's story ended not in fear, but in redemption, a testament to the power of facing one's past and seeking forgiveness. But remember, dear listener, shadows may vanish, but some mysteries are never truly solved. And in the quiet corners of the world, who knows what still lingers, waiting to be discovered?